So good morning, everyone. Sorry to hold you up, but we just had a great session around in Conversation Hall talking about the significance of sport, and of course, we are honored to have the Beyond Sport organization here with us. I am surrounded by some really great folks. Let me first introduce Christina Weiss-Laurie, of course, the president of the Eagles Youth Partnership, co-owner, of course, of the great Philadelphia Eagles. Nick Keller is the founder of Beyond Sport, and we are excited, certainly very much, to have Nick with us, and we're honored about the announcement that I'll be making in a second. We have one of the great sports players. He's too young to be a legend, but he has done some legendary things, but he is still a very young man. And that, of course, is Brian Dawkins and of the Philadelphia Eagles, and certainly our president of the Eagles, Don Smolenski. Don, thank you very much. And then my sidekick here, the short guy, Dikembe Mutombo, of course, from the Philadelphia 76ers, a global NBA ambassador and a Beyond Sport award winner. Let me also recognize our city representative, Desiree Peterkin-Bell, our director of big events, Melanie Johnson. Police Commissioner Ramsey was around the corner. He may have had to leave. Luke Butler is the chief of staff to Alan Greenberger, our deputy mayor for economic development. We have a number of our sports organizations also represented. They were around the corner. I mentioned Don, Dave Montgomery, Nick Skevich from, of course, the Philadelphia Union, and we're excited to have them. Let me also recognize Alexandra Chalet, who's the executive director of Beyond Sport for that organization. As I declared around the corner, but let me now say, of course, to our Philadelphia news media, I think without dispute, Philadelphia is the greatest sports town in the United States of America. The City of Philadelphia is excited to welcome the annual Beyond Sports Summit and Awards to our city on September 9th through 11th, 2013. The summit will be hosted by the Philadelphia Eagles, led with their great new president, Don Smolenski, with the support, of course, of the City of Philadelphia, the Philadelphia Sports Congress, the 76ers, the Flyers, the Phillies, and the Philadelphia Union. The Beyond Sports Summit is a global event that gathers hundreds of leaders in sports, government, business, development, and philanthropy to discuss how athletics can be better used as a tool to address social issues such as inclusion, the environment, education, health, and conflict resolution. Beyond Sport, the organizers of the summit, is a global organization chaired by the former British Prime Minister and our good friend here in Philadelphia, Tony Blair, which promotes and celebrates and funds sports and the support of athletics to trigger positive social change in communities all around the world. This is achieved through providing funding and support to hundreds of organizations across the world through the Beyond Sports Awards and through global events, the biggest of which is the Beyond Sport Summit. The summit is held in a different city each year and brings in delegates from 6 continents. This will be the first summit since 2010 held in the United States, which was then in Chicago. The summit was held in London in 2012, just before the Olympic Games, and in Cape Town, South Africa in 2011. The Beyond Sports Summit is truly a global gathering attended by a high-profile and diverse delegation. In 2012, the participants included, and we have not yet released a list of 2013 participants, but in 2012, of course, legendary boxer Muhammad Ali, soccer legend David Beckham, Rugby World Cup champion Francois Pienaar, former British Prime Minister Tony Blair, Premier League CEO Richard Scudamore, world record holder for the long jump Bob Beamon, multi-Olympic gold medalist in sprinting Michael Johnson, British Paralympian Baroness Tani Gray Thompson, multi-Olympic gold medalist in swimming Ian Thorpe, and world champion figure skater Michelle Kwan, just to name a few. The summit is also a quite diverse gathering in terms of content. Sessions on issues ranging from sustainability to youth leadership to social inclusion and investor-funder models are discussed. The summit also includes a focus on professional sports through the Beyond Sport United gathering, which brings together teams, leagues, and their partners to discuss how they can have a positive social impact in the communities in which their sport is played. The Beyond Sport United gathering is supported by MLB, MLS, NASCAR, NBA, NFL, NHL, WNBA, and the English Premier League. I think we have possibly run out of acronyms, but we'll work with the English Premier League on that. And they will bring their teams and partners to Philadelphia this fall. In previous years, this event was held at Yankee Stadium in New York City, but this year, for the first time ever, it is being held within the summit right here in Philadelphia. The summit also features a presentation of the annual Beyond Sport Awards, during which organizations using sport to address major social issues are celebrated and receive financial and business support as well. In the past, winners have included an education project in Columbia that achieves a 98% school attendance rate by using soccer as a hook, an initiative in Jordan that uses sports to empower young Iraqi refugee girls, and a project in Chicago that uses basketball to resolve conflicts between gangs. The City of Philadelphia is honored to host the Beyond Sport Summit and Beyond Sport United, and supports its global and noble mission to enrich the lives of people around the world. Let me take one last moment before opening to questions. Some of you may know, but some may not. The Philadelphia Eagles were the 2011 Beyond Sports Team of the Year. And in receiving that award, Christina and Don and the entire organization worked tirelessly to build partnerships all across the city and region, along with many, many others, and certainly again with Desiree and Melanie. And as a result, we are honored to be the host city for the Beyond Sports Summit 2013. Congratulations, Philadelphia. So with that, any of us would be glad to take any questions from the news media.
What kind of social impact are you looking for this summit to have on Philadelphia?
Well, I've not experienced it, so I might have Nick give more of an in-depth answer. But I think, again, being the greatest sports town in the United States of America, we know that sport has a tremendous impact, especially on our young people. I talked earlier about its impact with regard to educational attainment, attendance, lack of truancy, certainly a decline in getting involved in other potentially negative activities for our young people, but overall has had a positive impact as we see all across the city of Philadelphia. I think that is one of the social impacts, but also being the host city, the folks who will be here, the examples that they will share and show are two great Philadelphia sports stars themselves, not only legendary in their activity on the field, but off the field. Great role models for young people, and have an ability to talk with them and connect with them about their future and their lives and the meaning of giving back. And so I think that short, medium, and long term, you will see a tremendous benefit here in the city of Philadelphia, and certainly just on the economics of it, to have such a large gathering will also be positive for us as well. But Nick, why don't you talk a little from experience?
You did pretty well. Yeah. The main ways we measure the impact that we have, we call it the direct impact or indirect impact. The first thing I'll say is that by bringing this gathering together, there'll be a pretty substantial legacy in terms of, there is an element of inspirational legacy, bringing people into the movement, getting people bought into the fact that sport can be genuinely used around social change, education, health, inclusion. There'll be business development, creating introductions, introducing charities, 501c3s to willing corporate investors. I know that sounds a bit more subjective, so we're not sure what it is. There'll be direct investment made into projects as well. We'll seek the best organization in the Philadelphia area, and they'll receive money from our foundation, and we'll have other corporates involved in investing in that as well. And so those are the more direct impacts. The things that we truly find difficult to measure is the indirect impact, the introductions that are made, the relationships that grow out of creating such a diverse, eclectic mix and gathering. And those happen, we get to understand what they are 6 months, 1 year afterwards. So there'll be direct investment that will take place. There'll be a lot of indirect impact. But the idea is to leave this intellectual and inspirational legacy that will hopefully be used by the cities. In Chicago 3 years ago, we, with the city, hosted an urban symposium. We asked them what their biggest issue was. Their biggest issue, they said, was obviously gang crime and gun murders. And we worked to put a gathering together which Chicago University were involved in, the mayor's office was involved with, the police commissioner, the parks and rec, and we brought in those international specialists in those areas to host a whole day urban symposium. Off the back of that, in the last few years, they've activated curriculum within the city, in 3 areas in the city, and Chicago University have just finishing the monitoring and evaluation of that, showing a direct reduction in crime in those areas where those were implemented. So we'll work over the next few months with all the partners, public sector, private sector, to bring together what we hope will leave a bit of a lasting impact and legacy in the city.
Anyone else? Bob?
Mr. Keller, what year was the organization founded, and could you identify a couple other accomplishments besides the Chicago program?
Yeah, it was established in 2009. Our first event took place there, and a couple of other things that we've done, and they're a bit varied. We've brought together groups around girls' education and sport. Off of the back of creating that focus, the United Nations created a working group and did a whole scoping project around how girls' education could improve by involvement in sport, and they wanted to test and see where those programs were taking place. That was a big commitment. That happened again off the back of into the Cape Town event that was finalized. We've also constructed the first all-purpose, multi-sport, sustainable sports pitch in the whole of Tanzania with our partners, Connor Sport Court, and Coaches Across Continent, a really impressive NGO that won an award in our first year for Best New Project. And bringing that sort of partnership together, we've now created that sports field in Tanzania that serves a community of 250,000, and that has created a huge amount of economic benefit for that area. So there's just a couple of examples.
Okay. Anything else?
Zach, working with Nick, when he and Sarah, really started a relationship from a couple years ago with Eagles Youth Partnership and the Eagles recognition in 2011. And when the seeds were born, as I think Nick and Sarah shared earlier out of the conversation, they needed a local champion, and they asked if we would support and kind of take a leadership role in bringing parties together. And that's really initially where it started in terms of, the giving back to the community and being involved in community is a part of our DNA, as it is with the other sports teams in the area and all of the great work that we all do together. And, we didn't hesitate to step in and get involved because it showcased the city, showcased all of the teams, showcased all of the great work that's done in the community. And so really it was just to kind of really hold hands and reach out, meet with folks like Larry Needle and the Philadelphia Sports Congress and the mayor, and really start to kind of build an idea and a vision. And it's exciting today to kind of see that all come together. And it's as over the next couple months as the program comes together, was at a Philadelphia Sports Congress Board meeting just last week, and there were corporate partners who were so intrigued they wanted to get involved. How can I get involved? That's really what it's about, and that was what our primary role was. We'll be involved in the summit and supporting, participating on panels, sharing, and hopefully giving and receiving best practices.
I just want to add one thing is, as you all know, sport may be a catalyst, but real change only happens when all partners come together. And beyond sport, that's what it's about. And so we are really excited that the summit is going to be coming here next September in Philadelphia, because again, it's all about partnership, and that Beyond Summit embodies that.
All righty. Thank you very much. We're looking forward to September. Again, I want to say thank you to Nick and to Christina and Don, certainly Brian and Dikembe for their leadership and support beyond sport. Thank you.